G'day folks, welcome to this playthrough of Aeon Trespass Legacy. I'm at day 32. I've just completed, I've just completed day 31. Everything is managed on this app. So this is how I keep track of everything. You can use paper sheets, and I do have, there are some printed off, but this is so much easier. So basically you have a timeline. And this is how you keep track of everything. It's gonna be hard for you to see this. I do apologize, the camera's a long way away. But yeah, day 31, I just fought a monster. I'll tell you about what I'm seeing here. Evolution, I have just completed a level 2 Hecaton. I'm not really struggling with it. These are, okay, so what these Hecatons do is they throw their fists around. The biggest impact they have is pushing me back and knocking me back. And what that means is they push my heroes away from them. In itself, not so much of a threat, but added to the fact that at level 2, which this now is, and beyond, the board edges, so this edge here is boundless, they are now high cliffs. If a Titan is moved beyond the edge, they die. So I've got this insta-death risk now. If he pushes me off the edge of the board, and that's not hard to happen, I instantly die. Okay, so this is really important. This Hecaton at this level and beyond will always treat the board edges as a cliff. So how have I responded to this? Well, pretty much all my characters now have some form of reflex option. So this is called a Iapetus Lifeguard. I've mentioned this in one of the videos in the past. This lets me take a reflex move. So if I'm here, for example, and the Hecaton's here and it's about to push me back, I can reflex move, and get out of the way. I also have, what do I have? Pushback resistance. So who is it? Who has the pushback resistance? I think it's, there's so much going on. Somebody here can resist a pushback. Here we go. You may reduce knockbacks up to 2. You may reduce suffered pushbacks by 1. So pushback is where it follows me, pushback 1, and then a knockback is just where it hits me. As I'm talking there, I had the question of whether or not I need to be adjacent for a knockback. I had the feeling knockback, if it's caused by an attack, it affects the target only if it's within the attack's effective range, so adjacent for normal attacks. If it's caused by a primordial response, it affects the attacker only if they're within adjacency. Okay, so yeah, that's the case most of the time, I think. Okay, look, what else? Okay, my Titans, I have my first, there's so much going on. It's messy, all right? And there's no, I'm running out of room for everything. This is a situation basically at the end. As you can see, I've got my special Maze Runner Titan on the board now. Difficult to see, but they have a special grid here. They have special moves. They have this cool move where they can jump over the Titan. So if they're facing a board edge, right, and looks like they're about to push back, they can jump over the Titan, and actually that's how they got there. Because on this side, I think the Titan was here or something, and they jumped over the Titan. I can't remember how they did it, but yeah. In that way, if they get pushed back, they've got a long board edge to not worry so much about. What else? Look, okay, there are so many overlapping stories happening. I have got, so this is Penelope, I think. I've even lost track of her. Here she is, Penelope. She has a memory of a family feud, which is relatively recent, but it's a great one. It lets me place an opening or break token in the Kratos pool, and she's well advanced on the blood on your hands memory. If she is the priority target and she has more than 4 wounds, she gains +1 precision, and so she's striving for that. Okay, she also has got, I don't know if that was hers, Yeah, I think that was hers. No, it's not hers. We might have too much. Might have too much. You only have one helmet, right? I don't think I need that Mino head. The Mino head can probably go. No, that's not. Sorry, I'm getting confused. So much going on. Right, let me check the rulebook. There will be rulebook checks. There are constant rulebook checks. Key thing about this game is I'm always going to the rulebook. It's holding up its quality. I just want to check gear slots, how much I can carry. I can carry 1 armor. Yep, I know that. 2 support slots. Okay, only two support slots. Only 2 of those. I can't carry the grappling hook as well. I've got 2-handed weapons. Cannot carry the... No, that siren blade... Jeez. Yeah, we'll get rid of that, I think. The grappling hook is good when I want to climb something. So some of these monsters you can climb. And that is where that is good. It helps you get on top of it. Okay. Right. Then I've also got a pet dog. Maisie the labyrinthian dog. I can't remember where I found him. But he's struggling a bit with this labyrinthian curse kind of thing. Maze touched. He doesn't do much. So Penelope is carrying a mace, which is a really powerful weapon. She's got the Epitus Lifeguard, which is a reflex. Everyone has to have a reflex, I think. Then she's got a spring harness, which lets her stand up. But if she's only allowed 2 support slots, and she can't carry the pile engine as well. I thought it was 3, so I made a bit of a mistake there. I can only carry 2 support items. So if I hand that over, these guys have got stabilize. I'd love to have more. I'd love to be able to carry more. That's a reflex. Don't need 2 reflexes, so let's put that away. And let's use the pile engine. This gives me extra movement, or it lets me stand up when I'm knocked down. All right, so it's pretty effective. Okay, now this is Otis 0, and he's going to play opener. All right, so it's his role to use his naval ram. This does auto break 2 and break 2 with a power reroll. The idea is adding those break 2 helps the next person to attack. So that's kind of what his role is. He has a good chance of doing damage as well. Everyone has good armor now. And then we have Olympia. Okay, so she's got some good solid armor. She's our range character. She has the Manus Discus. Now, what support items? She's got the Make Sheath, and this basically counts as extra ammo. She doesn't have to exhaust herself when she uses a ranged weapon. And then she's got the Stabilizers, which is her reflex response. Okay, now she's also got the Promethean Strain and Maze Walker patterns on her Titan, which enhances her Titan, basically. Gives it some slightly special abilities. Okay, so as I said, I've just finished this battle, so I'm going to move this stuff kind of partly out of the way, move the miniatures out of the way. I'm going to jump in front of the camera, pick up my map, and drag it over carefully. Okay. Now the story is... Okay. Bring it down, I don't need these for now. We have just finished the battle, so we've got at least 6 days until our next timeline battle. Just going to shift that up a bit so you can see the map a bit better. Okay, 6 days until our next timeline battle, so we've got a couple of days to explore, enhance technology, build up our resources, things like that. I might actually bring this camera down, give you a better look at the map, because this is where our attention is going to be for the next fair bit of time. Okay. So, yeah, ran out of space over here, but basically this is Knossos, that's there. There's another tile that should be here. I won't worry about that. This is where I'm heading, and I'm navigating. I've just visited a city. In fact, yeah, I've just visited a city, end of the day. But what I didn't do was, can I gain some crew from that city? I can lose strangers. I think I did that. I can lose. Now again, I need to keep an eye on my diplomacy. So my diplomacy, the Minoans have kind of been frustrating me a bit. They're really brutal and they're attacking people, so I've kind of been shifting my allegiance towards the Hornsworn. The Labyrinthians are this suicidal cult. I try to help them, but they're just always doing dodgy things, or there's dodgy people associated with them, or they're just always in pickles and I can't really help. So they've denounced me. I was friendly, leaning towards an alliance with the Minoans, but that's kind of been reduced quite heavily lately, and my relationship with the Hornsworn has been improving. So we're just unfriendly at the moment, but we were quite bad. We were denounced by the Hornsworn at one stage, and I'm trying to improve that. Okay, so where am I? I'm in Labyrinthian territory. I don't really care. Oh, look, mortal resources. So here are my resources. I've got so many triremes. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lose 4 mortal resources to gain an Argo fate and gain a diplomacy with the local faction. So the Labyrinthians now just unfriendly. They haven't denounced me, they're just unfriendly. It's not quite as bad. Okay. What else can I do in these cities? This is all my technology cards. Shows all the build things, so all the combat things like weapons you can build. Negotiation, lose a stranger, gain a fate to lose a stranger. I've got a lot of strangers. I would like to do that. My fate is pretty low, so let's gain a fate, lose a stranger. I have a bonus. The first time I gain fate, Argo fate on a turn, I ignore it. There it is. So I ignore it. This is what my crew is looking really good, but I'm going to gain a fate, gain a stranger, gain a crew. Crew is critical. I feel like I'm losing a lot of crew. I've had some good opportunities lately to build it up. Yeah, so I'm doing that. Okay, and I'm using Shallows navigation right now to move through this river system. All right, that's where we're at. So, next day on the timeline, I am going to explore tile 0, 2, 5. So we look through the tile deck, we find 025. It's Labyrinthian territory. We know that because of the Labyrinthian marker. Flip it over, and thankfully, it lines up with this location. This is where we're heading. This is our next mission. Unfortunately, it's got a Doom token on it. So we move the Argo, we tick the timeline box, day 32. What's the next thing we do? This is where my summary sheets come in handy. But I cannot find my, here it is, sequence of play, campaign round summary sheet. So we've moved the Argo, timeline step, exploration step always. So we, now I've got to shuffle all these cards in as well. So we shuffle our exploration deck. And this is just kind of random little encounters that we have. All right, we reveal one card. It is a Maze Pilgrim. Okay, so it says gain 1 stranger. If I'm on a Labyrinthian tile, I gain 2, so I gain 2 strangers. Then if I have 3 or more strangers, which I do, okay, this is a recurring thing. Remove until the next battle. See 0014 in the Fated Conundrum. So this is where I pick up the Truth of the Labyrinth cycle storybook, basically. This is not the rulebook, this is a storybook. I go to Fated Conundrum, page 31, and then in this chapter, I look at 014. And I've experienced this one before. All right, so I'm tracking this. You've got to tick a box every time you have this. I'm, again, managing it on the app. All right, so Fated Conundrum, that's 4 boxes ticked now. And this is a problem, this one. This is why I keep losing crew. Okay, so you've felt something brewing for some time now. You've heard whispers of discontent. Some are wondering what they're doing on Crete, in the middle of a conflict not their own. Others are coming dangerously close to sympathising with the labyrinthian message. One morning, you notice a pale drawing of the maze symbol. This is their kind of symbol, their icon that they spread around Crete. On one of the bulkheads, and you feel it in your guts. It's happening. There's a growing number of labyrinthian converts on the ship. This is becoming a problem. Mark a box above, which I've just done, and then I choose. There is no place for worshippers. I banish them, lose a crew, lose 2 strangers. A random Argonaut gains a despair, but labyrinthian diplomacy -1. Look, given otherwise, or they are my crew. They may have lost hope, but I did not lose hope in them. You try to dissuade them from the truth of the labyrinth. Each Argonaut has to conduct a test, but because of every tick is a negative modifier, it is extremely unlikely that they're going to pass that test. So I'm going to choose option 1. I'm going to banish the neophytes, which means that that crew that I just gained, quickly lost. I lose 1 crew, but I do lose 2 strangers, and that's a good thing. Strangers are bad. A random Argonaut, so it's random. I roll the die, re-roll the 6, which is, so these are the despair tokens, and this goes on to Otis 0 down here below me. He gains a despair token, and then Labyrinthian's diplomacy -1. And again, this is they keep not liking me for some reason. All right. Well, because I killed their convert, I kicked out their converts. That's why. But yeah. So these are the Labyrinthian temples. They're former cities that I cannot visit anymore. Okay, that's done. That's only 1 step. Okay, so exploration step. I have to do this several times. So that is 1. Here it is. Here's my exploration deck. Then I draw again, and it is an untamed titan. Gain a titan. Now look, I've been pretty lucky with my titans. And if I look at my titan list, I'm at my titan limit, so I can't gain any more titans. If I was friendly with local people, I'd gain a rage as a group, but I'm not friendly with the Labyrinthians. They've denounced me now. Then I keep drawing. Minoan fleet. Okay, so I am now, again, I check my diplomacy with the Minoans, and I should be neutral with them. Okay, so if I'm neutral, each Argonaut gains 1 wound. Well, that's annoying. They used to give me stuff. They were giving me trireme resources. Now they're attacking me and giving me wounds. Okay, so these should all be reset after the battle. I always forget to do that. We track a wound, slide that up by 1. This is reset. 1 wound, 1 wound, and 1 wound. All right, so everyone gains a wound. And we keep drawing. Okay, so it's rare to have this many keep drawings. This is the end. Okay, gain 3 monument resources. So again, on the app, I just go to my cargo hold, 3 monument resources, just like that, it's tracked. If I am denounced, which I think I am by the Labyrinthians now, right? Yep, they denounce me, I gain a doom token. This is not a good thing. So I have to get up and walk now for this one. I have to find my doom tokens. Where have all my doom tokens gone? I've lost track of them all. Alright, so basically, here is a tray of doom tokens, and I put this on the doom story, which is up the top there. Alright. Where were we? Here we go, denounce. So that's 1 stack. And then we do this 2 times. So I repeat the same thing. And this is an adversary icon. If 2 of these are revealed, we move the adversary who's chasing us from a very long way away. Gain 3 trireme resources. That's good. 1, 2, 3. I have a heap of these. And we stop drawing. Okay, so that's 2 stacks drawn. Some of these say remove. Remove until the next battle. Remove until the next battle. So they won't come back. These will be shuffled into the deck. All right, that is our exploration step done. Now we go to the expedition step. If we're on an unexplored tile, which we are, it is resolve hub story adventures. Okay, so there are no adventure icons there. I've mentioned the Doom icon, which I've placed. Encounter step, there are no timeline battles. There are no battle events on day 32. Is there any research? No, there's no research icon on day 32. No story progression. No, Doom hasn't triggered. And so the day ends. All right, that's the end of day 32. We now go to day 33. And what are we doing? We are moving to our objective. Down the river, down to here. We move the Argo, we tick the box. We always resolve our exploration symbols. So again, we do draw 2 stacks. Oh, sorry, symbols. There's no Doom, there's no progress symbols in the bottom left. Then we do our exploration cards. First one is a weapons cache or cache. 2 armament resources. If I'm denounced, gain 1 instead. Now I am in labyrinthian territory. It's hard to see, but it's just in the bottom right hand corner. So I only gain 1 armament resource, and that's the end. But that is 1 trigger for our adversary. And then we stop here, gain 3 trireme. Oh my goodness. And because I'm denounced, I gain 1 Argo Fate. Right. So this can go up, it goes up and down so fast. Right, and neither of those are removed from the deck. We don't trigger the adversary, so nothing further happens. All right, exploration step is done. We've visited this site before. But this is where we're trying to go. This is where we're visiting. This is for our main storyline. A fateful rendezvous. Here it is. And we're being told, take the 4 story cards. When you place your second progress token, draw one of the 4 clue cards, return the rest. You need to find the map tile shown on the card. Match the clue from the card. So basically we have this little bit of a map fragment. This reminds me of old Sid Meier's Pirates game, if anyone's ever played that. A small map fragment. You have to find this terrain on the map. Now, fortunately, it was one of the first areas we explored. So, I mean, this was lucky. I drew a clue. It happened to match a territory I'd explored. If I hadn't, I mean, it could be something up here. It could be something further down. I feel I got that. That could really throw you. As it stands, I mean, I was all the way over here. All right, so my adversary was down here chasing me. I decided, rather than backtrack, I decided to explore along the west coast, and then hopefully, I was hoping to find a river, because I knew that there was a river here, and I was thinking, well, it has to meet up somewhere. So I decided to keep exploring. There's a missing tile there, it's up there. Found it, and yeah, realised it was there. So, you need to find the map tile shown on the card, match the clue from the card to the clue on the map tile. Oh, okay, so the clue on the card to the clue on the map tile. Oh, I thought I had to go there. It says match them. So the code is 4437. All right, 4437, and I'm in the fateful rendezvous. No, is it special events? Main story, maybe? 4437. So let's look for 4437. 4437, here it is. Following a solid lead on the Simoki flagship, the Marathonian, you enter the estuary of one of the great rivers of Crete. Even with the newly found Argo subsystem governing shallow water navigation, you fear you may end up on some shoal, but the estuary is surprisingly deep. See 0031. All right, so now we quickly flick back to 0031. Okay, so as I've said before, the stories are often fairly brief. they're not long paragraphs, okay? Which is good, I like that. Not wanting to reveal your approach, you send a Hemiolia scouting party. After hours of nervous anticipation, your ship returns. They found the Marathonian at the mouth of the river among the treacherous coastal isles and hidden in dusk's mist. It's a vessel like no others, several times larger than the largest of triremes. It would be the undisputed king of the seas if the Argo didn't grace those same waves. Your scouts did not register any activity on the deck, and there were no other ships in the vicinity. No rear guard, no escorts, no pilot boats. The Marathonian looked eerily abandoned. Per orders, the scouts returned to the Argo without initiating contact. You moved to intercept. This is the place you're looking for. See 0057. All right. A fateful rendezvous bearing gifts. The Argo makes its ponderous approach towards the Marathonian. Its Aeolipilean engines are pushed to capacity as you constantly need to take micro-course aversions to avoid isles, shoals and rocks. The mist is thick, you can barely see a few metres ahead. Many perceive it as a bad omen. Pilot Hemiolias are deployed to help you navigate the treacherous estuary, but they're resigned to using fire signals that may give away their position. You wonder what fate befell the Simaki ship and its crew, or if this is an elaborate ruse to lure you into the river network, where the Argo is less manoeuvrable. But who would be foolish enough to lay a trap for the Argo? Have they not seen the mighty iron vessel? Nevertheless, you mobilise your warriors, passing weapons to the sailors, and some of you venture into the Balaneon. Forewarned is forearmed. There are no dolphins in these waters, and no seabird's song breaks the silence. The weight is excruciating. As you close in on the Marathonian, the mist finally begins to lift. The immense hull of the foreign trireme pierces the Milky Veil. The Simaki ship looks almost like it was based on the Argo or a similar design, but its wooden bow pales in comparison to the iron decks of your vessel. You notice scout fire signals on the starboard bow, but quickly realise they're too far away and too numerous to be your Hemiolias. If Labyrinthian's at war, that's not the case. Otherwise, see 060. They've denounced me, but we're not at war. So the Marathonian's empty deck buzzes with activity. Sails are unfolded, many rows of oars emerge from the oar holes, and the massive ship begins to move away from the Argo and into the mouth of the river. Before you can give any orders, a deafening boom fills the air, and the deck shakes as if from an Aeolipilean, wow, that's a word, engine explosion. "Fire ship!" shouts one of the sailors. As you look overboard, you see a burning bireeme wreck and a smouldering mark on the Argo's bow. Whoever built your vessel made sure it could withstand a direct ramming attack. You breathe a sigh of relief. And then you notice the orange glow on the horizon. The quickly darkening sky makes a great canvas for the enemy fleet. Biremes, triremes, and a few larger vessels, all burning, all moving in unison towards the Argo with a singular purpose. Dozens of ships. You feel the cold hands of fear grip your hearts. This is enough to sink the largest of vessels. You had not realised the lengths to which some will now go to extinguish your Odyssey until now. You scramble for the Titans and hope they will be enough. Each Argonaut junctions with the Titan and gains +1 rage. Now rage is good. The Titans are getting angry. It helps unlock their kind of special abilities for now, but it cannot get too high. Then chooses a ranged weapon or reach weapon. Okay, so at this stage, a ranged weapon, is this a ranged? No, it's not a weapon, but this is. So I might switch my Siren Blade to my Petrified Javelin. Yeah, I'm going to switch my Siren Blade to my Petrified Javelin. It gives me a bit of a reach, it's a ranged weapon. So I've only got 2 ranged weapons among my Titans. They'll make attacks to try and sink the fire ships before they reach the Argo. Each Argonaut decides how many attacks they want to perform, raising their damage by 1 for each attack. If the weapon has the commit keyword, which this discus does, so if it has that keyword, raise my fate. Fate? Yeah, raise my fate by 1 for each attack. Ignore the cumbersome keyword. That's where you have to commit the weapon. Okay, so this is ignore the comments and keyword. The to hit value is 5 plus for range weapons and 7 plus for reach weapons. So they're both ranged. These are not reach weapons, so I cannot use these. Unfortunately, that's all I've got. I don't have any. I don't think I have any other ranged or reach weapons. No. So just 2 weapons. It's going to hurt. If 7 plus, it's not. Perform a power roll as normal, but up all the power from every attack, and then subtract that from 25. Okay, this is not going to be great. So these guys are probably going to have to take a lot of wounds. So how many wounds do I want to take? He's already on 1. All right, let's take 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds to make 4 attacks. Okay, and his attacks can be, each of his attacks is 2 dice. So we've got like, all right, let's find a way to track this. He's making, this is off camera, sorry, 4 attacks with a javelin. And then this person over here will also make 4 attacks with their Manos Discus. Okay, and they need to roll 5 plus to hit. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 1 more black dice, which I cannot see. Here it is. No, that's not the right one. I need 8, right? So let's do 2 rolls of 4. Counting my 5 pluses to see how many hits I get with. Oh, he gets, yeah, double hits. How many attacks I want to perform? I don't know. I guess we ignore. So normally, my petrified javelin, I roll 2 dice to hit, but this just says no, I'm guessing we double it because you do a power roll as normal. So I'm rolling 8 dice. 5 pluses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. Okay. And each hit is 1 red dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A power roll is normal, it said. So that's 5 dice. A normal power roll gives me +1 for my Titan. And I'm looking for hits, right? Hits are the dashes. All right, let's see how we go. That's terrible. 3 hits. Not good. All right, so that's 3 hits in total so far. That's not going to be good. All right, then the discus has 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and they roll a red and a black, a red and a black, a red, a red, and a black. They get a lot because each hit on the discus is a red and a black die. So this should be, hopefully, many more hits. Yep, the black dice are much better. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 3 is 15 hits. Okay, good. As a fire ship, as fire ship after fire ship explodes on your starboard bow, so just double checking, it says perform a power roll normally. Oh, but add up all the power from every attack and then subtract that from 25. So I've got 15 minus 25 is 10. Okay, just 1 short. The Argo takes the brunt of the suicide attack. Repeated explosions finally punch through the iron hull. The fires are being contained, though not without losses. Lose 1 hull point. Okay, so basically the Argo has hull points. I was at full, doing pretty well, so now I've lost a hull point. After you resolve the attack, the Argonaut with the most wounds makes an evasion attempt. With the most damage, sorry, makes an evasion attempt with 3 dice at 9 plus. Okay, 3 dice at 9 plus. That's a fail, fail, fail. He can, however, I'm going to take a fate. You can take he can reinforce, so he can attempt to absorb the damage. Otherwise, it'll be 3 damage. No, it's not damage. These are not regular bolts. Oh my goodness! 2 plus hits. It's an evasion attempt. 2 plus hits, they die. The Titan just dies. My goodness. Okay. So that is a dead Titan. That's really unusual for a Titan just to die like that. It's not Olympia, it's not Odyssey, it's not Leocules, so it's just a generic Dreamwalker Titan. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so I surveyed the estuary, still aglow, catch a glimpse of the Marathonian silhouette disappearing into the mouth of the river. That ship is faster and more manoeuvrable than you thought. You will engage in pursuit as soon as the Argo's hull has been checked for damage. After a few hours, you come to the conclusion that the goal of the attack was to cripple the Argo, not sink it. One question is bothering you. Why? Flip the rendezvous story to side 2B. All right. I need to catch the Simaki flagship. Okay, so let's have a look at what this says. Return to the voyage phase. So we're done with that storybook for now. And what does this say? All right, the Simaki flagship. Sorry, trying to get the glare out of the way. The flagship has fled upriver. You're not sure what their plan is or how far the Argo can sail in shallow waters, but you have little choice. Minos is on that ship. Willingly or not, he will come with you, and you will be done with this cursed island once and for all. You give pursuit. Even a few miles inland, the landscape starts to change, become more angular, more artificial. Your scouts reported as much, but seeing this with your own eyes, hills slowly turning to step terraces like the Egyptian pyramids, or peach and persimmon trees bearing cube-shaped fruit, is something else. Crete is being remade and seemingly nothing can stop it. You must find Minos. So the rules are to catch up to the flagship. Find the 10-story 2B clue cards. All right, this is always difficult. You've got to dig through the box and find these clue cards. The 10 2B clue cards. This shouldn't be too hard. I found the clue cards and okay. 2B, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Found them. All right, so we have 10 2B clue cards. Set aside the Simaki flagship card. There it is. Set that aside and shuffle the rest. Then remove the number equal to the number of story tokens I had on 2A. So I've made 4 progress basically of what this is saying. So I remove 4 of these cards. I'm just making this random. 3, 4, and I return them to the box without looking. Then shuffle the flagship card with the remaining clues to create the pursuit deck. Okay, so this will now be my pursuit deck. Oops. Now, looking for the flagship. If the Argo is on a river, a map tile with the river symbol, draw a card from the deck and resolve it. And then remove from the game, return to the box. Okay, so this is basically this icon here. All right, and that's my current story. During the story step. So, during the story step. So where was I? I was advancement story step. I think I was still here. I haven't. So, I'm guessing I probably wouldn't draw one immediately. I'd probably have to wait until next turn, to be fair. That can probably disappear now. That was story clue 2A. So that's gone with the rest of 2Bs. They go back in the box. And we continue. So we need to head back upriver, and because I know what's over here, it may be worth me kind of navigating through the middle a bit more. Okay. Where are we? Timeline. Okay, I also get a combat technology. So, these are basically my options, I think. Tele-resuscitation or hecaton sighting. Not many that I meet the prerequisites for. This will stand up a knockdown Titan, which is great. This will give me some new weapons to build. I'm not often knocked down, that's the thing, I'm often evading. So I'm going to pick Hecaton Sighting, okay, and that gives me access to Trireme Reach weapons. So that goes back, that goes to my technology pool, and I find Trireme Reach weapons, and this is now available for discovery. So I add that to my possible discovery pile, and I like to add a note of what technology I've discovered. Done. Okay, that's the end of the day. The next day begins. Unfortunately, I noticed a Doom token here, so we have to move through that Doom token. The alternative is to come all the way around here and inevitably I'm surrounded by Doom, so wherever I have to move through Doom basically, which sucks. Alright, so I added Doom token to my Doom story track up there, and I tick a box. So I've moved the Argo, tick a box, exploration step, yep, it's a discovered tile. I draw exploration cards. Alright. Gain a Titan. Good. I just lost one. Gain one back. So on Titans, I just go add a new Titan. I can name it if I want, but no. And we keep drawing. I'm not friendly with the Labyrinthians. Gain 3 Trireme resources. So 1, 2, 3. And stop drawing, and that's 1 trigger. And then gain 3 monument resources. Right, so there, I've got a lot of resources, except for armament, which is pretty low. All right, and they all get shuffled back in. So nothing further happening there. Then we get to, so encounter, there's no battle. Advancement step, we have to pick a technology now, because on the timeline, there is a structural technology development. So I can now look at, these are the combat cards, these are my structural technologies that I have access to. Anti-indoctrination philosophy will give me not much. Lose the maze touch, don't really care about that, I'm going to put that back straight away. Superior trading solutions will give me the opportunity to trade, not that interested. Minoan investigations. I can re-roll my Adventure Hubs table, don't care about that at all. So I've got Pursue a Problem. I don't think I meet the prerequisite for that. I don't think I have Pursue a Sighting. I think that's a mistake. Yeah, no, I don't have that yet. Which leaves me with Titan Rearing, which increases my Titan limit. Perfect, that's kind of exactly what I wanted. So this will increase my Titan limit, and if I win a battle that started with fewer than 4 Titans, after the battle I gain X Fate to gain that many Titans needed to have a total of 4 Titans in the Stoa. That's good. If I get really low, gives me an opportunity to get some back. Okay, so again I make a note of Titan rearing as the structural technology gained. Story step. Okay, so in the story step, I think it said draw a card, is that right? If I'm on a river tile. If I'm on a river tile during the story step, and I am on a river tile, so I draw a reshaped lake, gain a stranger. Okay. Argo, gain a stranger. That is removed from the game, and this is what I have left. All right. End of the day, no doom step. It's now explored. Back to step 1. We move. I'm going to move north onto tile 020 up here. So 020 is placed. I move the Argo onto it. Exploration card draw. Okay, so we start with 1 stack. Ooh, okay. So is Fate is 8 or not? It's not, but this is a double, so it automatically moves to chase me. So it's coming after me. And we keep drawing. And we have Theban Trader. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I can exchange up to 5 times. What do I need? I really need armament. So I want to trade lots of 3 triremes, 4 triremes for 1 armament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 armament. I can do this 5 times. So I've done it once. Where's a dice? I can do it 4 more times. What else do I have? I don't have a lot of raw ambrosia, but I've got a lot of muscle clusters. So can I try a muscle cluster for 2? Yeah, it's probably not a good deal. I need fleshy mantles as well. I can trade 5. I might just trade mortal resources. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more triremes for another armament. And I might do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 for an armament. Gives me a bit of balance in these resources. What else? What do I want to build? Some more grappling hooks would be good. Spring harnesses are great. I'm just worried. This is a great one because it lets me move and stand up. So it's kind of better than the spring harness. That said, there's nothing that I feel I urgently need among these. These are all the items I have available. Great tree club, break 1, commit, good dice, but it's not that much better than anything I already have. Yeah, I don't think, another couple of ranged weapons would help. A ballistic gun would be cool. Where's that javelin? The petrified javelin would be good. So that ballistic gun, yeah, just in case I need another opportunity with ranged weapons, it'd be good to have them. Look, I might just hold for now, because I'll be getting some more technologies soon. So I'm done with the Theban Trader. I'm in Labyrinthian territory. They are certainly not friendly, all right? And it tells me to keep drawing. So I draw again. Hornsworn Fleet. So what's my diplomacy like with the Hornsworn? They're still unfriendly. So I gain 1 Argo Fate. And it's saying keep drawing. This is really unusual. Gain 1 Doom token. Do not like this. And if Fate is 7 or more, it's not. This is a Maze Storm. And draw again. Wow. Stop here. Gain 2 trireme, but I'm denounced by the Labyrinthians. I think I'm denounced. Yep, denounced. So Chosen Argonaut gains 1 wound. I'll give that to them. Chosen, I get to choose. And 2 trireme resources. So that's 1 stack done. Next stack. Stop here. Gain 1 armament. Good. I need armament. I'm not friendly, so I don't get the bonus. All right. So quite a few of these are removed. Remove until the next battle. All right. So they won't come back into the event deck until the next battle takes place. Exploration cards done. Encounter step, there's no battle taking place. Advancement step. Is there an advancement on this day? Sorry, what have I done? Encounter. I didn't tick it, I don't think. Yeah, I think I forgot to tick it. Sorry, I moved without ticking. Advancement step, no technology breakthroughs on this day. Story step, I'm on another river tile, so I draw another card. Populated maze canal, gain another stranger. Knowing my luck, this will be the last thing I draw. And then end step, and I can keep moving. So I'm going to move to the right now towards 0, 5, 6. So 0, 5, 6. Oh wait, sorry, there is, before I do that, there is a story icon which I missed. Okay, so what this means is now we get to the truth of the labyrinth and what adventure am I up to? So I've been doing Uneasy Rests the Head. So the way this works is we go to Uneasy Rests the Head on page 59. This is the chapter. Okay, we roll a dice. That's an 8, which is the Minos branded. Oh no, wait, sorry, I don't have to roll. It's the last step in the last chapter, so it's just Withered Tree. So I go straight to the Withered Tree section, which is this paragraph here. But before I begin to read that, I look at the keyword up in the top right and it says family. What I then do, I'm going to lift the camera again. Okay, what I then do, family keyword, I look at all the memory, Nemos cards to look for the keyword family. So already I can see betrayal has family. So what that means is that Olympia has made some progress in unpacking these memories. So I go to Olympia, Nemos, betrayal, this is actually the third one. So I tick that, it's resolved, right? As the third time that has triggered, we flip it over. She no longer suffers this penalty, she gets a benefit. If you start and end your turn adjacent to a Titan, you lose 1 fate. That can be good, okay, good for her. That's just her. What else do we have? Do we have any family here? No family keywords. Family up here, a family feud for Penelope. So Penelope advances her memory of a family feud. That's the first step she's made on that. And over to the left here, no family for Leocules, I think I'm calling him. Okay, so he's done. So that is the keyword. That's just the keyword, and that's how you advance these personal memories, personal stories. Then we read through the Withered Tree. You cut your way inland. It's a grueling journey, and the further you venture from the Argo, the more uneasiness nags at you. But it shouldn't be a journey worth making. If your information is correct, at the end of your route lies the palace where Minos was held captive, and hopefully some answers as to his current whereabouts. Minos's one-time home and prison rests on a narrow escarpment that rises above the tree line. At first glance, the building looks like a ruin, but as you look at it, you start to pick out the details. Many of the structure's stones have warped or twisted in place, giving the building a precarious look, as if it might come apart at any moment. As you draw close, you spy torchlight through the windows. You're about to send your scouts forward when a dozen figures emerge from the darkness of the woods. The symbols on their armour mark them as Horn Sworn. Their leader steps forwards and gives you an appraising look. You're not with the cult. I am Christos. If F1, so basically throughout the game, you will trigger certain effects, certain permanent in-game effects, and you mark those on the choice matrix. So I do not have F1 marked, so that doesn't happen. I'm not at war with a Hornsworn. So otherwise I go to 0, 0, 1, 2, and that's over here. Christos and his troops take you in. They're kitted out as skirmishers with little in the way of armour and light, fast weaponry. Have they got some of your people up there too, says Christos. He frowns as you explain why you've come. Not what I expected to hear. The maze cult has taken over the palace. They're using it as some kind of conversion camp. It's sick. They're all sick, he spits. You want in, we want our people out. I think we might be able to help each other. If the place is crawling with labyrinthians, as this man says, sticking together might increase your chances. The Hornsworn seem unruly, but maybe you can make it work. You team up with the Hornsworn. I do like that idea because I'm trying to build a friendship with them, and that would make them neutral. Otherwise, I lose. So I'm gonna ally with the Hornsworn, or work with them. I gain 1 diplomacy, but I do gain 2 Argo Fate, and that's really pushing up quite high. And then I see 0014. Excellent, says Christos. My scouts have found a way back into the palace. I'll get my people through there and set you up. You go in through the front, see if you can get them talking and distracted. Once they're focused on you and not thinking about the hostages, give a short, sharp whistle and we'll move in. He squints up at the palace. Should be able to take the place without too much bloodshed. Note, Hornsworn ambush. So this is where I just go campaign notes, add a new note, Hornsworn ambush. Take a note of the campaign and then see 0013. You make up the slope towards the palace's main entrance. The Labyrinthians have made their camp in the former throne room. The walls and floor, even the ceiling, have been painted with maze designs using some coppery substance. You find yourself trying to track paths through the design and tear your eyes away as your head starts to spin. The designs all seem to resolve in one place, a gaping tunnel mouth on one wall that leads below ground. Sorry, brief pause. Okay. That leads below ground. The captives are easy to spot. Half a dozen men and women with their hands bound to iron rings set in the floor. The 20 or so Labyrinthians, their skin marked with the telltale geometric patterns, don't look that much. They're clearly not expecting a fight. A Labyrinthian priest leads a bound man to the tunnel entrance. The prisoner has long been stripped of his weapons and armour, but you pick him for a member of the Minoan Horned Guard. The time has come for you to walk the path, says the priest. Even from this distance, you can see that the man is shaking. The stones beneath his feet darken with liquid. The priest turns as you come through the door. Visitors, she says. You are welcome here if your intentions are peaceful. Please, the Horned Guard calls out to you, help me. The priest looks between you and the begging guardsman. She wears an amused smile as she waits to see how you react. You got to choose now. You are here to stop bloodshed, not condone it. Besides, this man may have some information. He may have even been stationed here. You intercede on behalf of the Horned Guard. So this would give me Minoan's Diplomacy 1, Labyrinthians -1. Or, time and again, the Horned Guard have shown their indifference towards the island people. This man's fate is none of your business. This would give me Labyrinthian Diplomacy. I do not want, I'm going to help the guard, right, who seems like he's going to be sacrificed. So I gain Minoan Diplomacy. I lose more Labyrinthian Diplomacy. And then I see 0015. Oh no. Untie him, you say. The acoustics of the rooms feel strange. You expect the cabinet space to have an echo, but your voice rebounds like you're in a narrow corridor. Still you persevere. No one has to die today. The priest looks affronted, and no one shall, not by our hands. The guardsman shuffles over to stand near your group. The priest doesn't move. A debt is owed, she says. The followers of the maze helped Minos escape his prison, and in return, he put us to the sword. Those who call themselves his descendants owe us. Not a life for a life, but those who have hurt us must walk the path as we have. After that, they are free to do as they will. There is no heat to her words. She speaks as if they are simple facts. I am Lorona, she says, and I know why you have come here. I gain a stranger. This is getting pretty high. And I gain a story token. Now, my main story cannot benefit from what is this? Oh, that's the old one, sorry. It cannot benefit from tokens. So I'm going to put this instead on my Inward Odyssey. When you can't advance your main story, you can advance this alternative story. This is the Inward Odyssey, where you gain general knowledge. And when you place 2 tokens on here, you gain an Argo knowledge. So I'll read this in a moment. But for now, I'll continue this. Sorry, I've just Hard to see the chat at the moment. Oh, hey Jonathan, sorry. Oh, I move him one time. Okay, Jonathan's pointing out I should move him one time per symbol. Okay, I'll catch up on that. Okay, where was I? So now I see 0017. This is a place of power, says Lorona. The maze is strong here, you must feel it. You can see it all around you, the way it manifests and cuts through the limited nature of our world, how it gazes. This is a place for secrets and illusions to be laid bare. I can help you with the answers you seek, but for that we must walk together. She gestures at the tunnel mouth. If you noted the ambush, see 0018. So, straight to here. Labyrinthians have their attention on you. At the back of the former throne room, you see the last of the Hornsworn slip through, taking cover behind some fallen masonry. They're in position. Now, these people have been through a lot, but it does not give them the right to subject others to their misery. You give the signal for the Hornsworn to attack, or these people are less violent than you're expecting, and the Hornsworn will show no mercy. You tip off the Labyrinthians to the impending attack. So this is tough, because the Labyrinthians are always kind of this problematic. I'm going to continue. So the Labyrinthians are going to hate me. 2 more negative, and then 0020. You stick your fingers in your mouth and whistle. The Hornsworn swarm out of hiding, their spears at ready. The Labyrinthians turn to face their attackers, grasping for their scattered weapons, which quite handily gives you their backs. Each Argonaut tests courage. 8 plus. I can add 2 fate to add 1. I may as well add fate. Courage. Okay, so Argonauts. His courage has no +1 modifier, so I'm looking at +2, 5, 6, 7. That's a failure. Then we've got Argonaut Penelope, also adding +2. That's a failure. Okay. Then we've got Odyssey, courage +2. That's a pass. That's 1 pass. And now we've got Olympia. And she will also add +1 for a critical. So 2 successes. Your people move like lightning. The Labyrinthians find blades at their throats before they know what's happening. Subtract 2 Argo fate. Oh, that's good. It was getting a bit high. All right. You relieve the defeated Labyrinthians of their weapons and corral them to the centre of the room. The Hornsworn busy themselves freeing the captives. Good work, says Christos. Bastards never saw us coming. Lorona looks to you. You will not find what you're looking for without my help. I can show you. Let my people go from this place and I will show you. Christos gives her a backhanded blow. Shut up. You look Lorona in the eye. To risk the tunnels below this place without a guide could spell your madness or death. I need her, you tell Christos. So take her and let my people go, she adds. Christos goes to strike her again, but you catch his arm. You've freed your people, now we got what we came here for. Christos scowls, but he doesn't stand in your way. The party leader gains 1 rage. Okay. Note, Hornsworn control the palace. Okay. I'll just add that to here. And palace. Didn't spell it right, but doesn't matter. Then 0019. Lorona leads you into the tunnel mouth. For all the oppressive darkness it appeared to have from the outside, once within you find you can clearly see, though there is no obvious source of light. The surfaces down here are marked in the same way as the ones in the throne room. You try to keep your eyes ahead of you. She guides you confidently through turn after turn. If there is a pattern to her directions, you can't discern it. This place was not always so, certainly not when it played host to King Minos, nor is it we have made it such. But it is a site of significance and has proved useful in changing the perspectives of those who struggle with our point of view. She gives you a toothy smile. Do not fear, you are quite safe with us. She pauses as a figure crosses the tunnel up ahead of you. A man with a patchy beard, wasting from hunger. He doesn't acknowledge you. He'll find his way when the time is right, she says. Once he's passed, she leads you on again. You glance down the passage the man took, but there's no sign of him. Each Argonaut gains a fate, which is running quite relatively high compared to what it normally is. and then see 0022. You lapse into silence while you walk. Time has little meaning down here. Minutes and days seem to pass as one. Lorona guides you unfalteringly through turn after turn, and everywhere the same maze lines mark the walls in that red-brown pigment. You wonder if the labyrinthians doubted them there themselves, or daubed them there themselves, or if they found the pattern here, complete and waiting. You force your eyes ahead of you. It's easy to grow bored and fall into the patterns to contemplate the maze within the maze. You round another corner and there. The tunnel ends in a narrow cell, a startling sight after the sameness of this warren. There's an unwashed human stink in the air, the bed is unmade, it's as if someone was just here. You cast your eyes around the room, looking for clues, any sign you can follow. You almost miss it, it's so uneven and irregular after the maze patterns in the tunnel. But on one wall there's some kind of diagram marked in a deep black. As you draw closer, you realise it's a family tree, faded but painted, with the deft hand of a royal artist. This is where Minos was held, says Lorona. The followers of the labyrinth did not orchestrate his escape, but we aided him, sheltered him, before he turned his hand against us. You trace the lines of the tree. At the top is Minos, with lines flowing down to his descendants. Once this cell lay directly beneath the palace, but this place has been changed. This might have been a throne room wall. It is a fine place for speaking truths. You see the record of Minos and his king. It clearly occupied his mind when he was kept here. Her eyes glitter. Who do you see? Who do you not see? The tree marks 3 children of Minos, Androgeos, Ariadne, and a third. The ink there smeared until it's little more than an illegible black square. Those who call themselves Minos's children are not so, says Lorona. Then who are they? She shrugs. Minos took them in, but they turned on him too. They will turn on anyone in time, if it furthers their ambitions. They claim Minos's lineage, his authority and power. I say they must take responsibility for his mistakes and failures as well. The people who stand atop this land may change as they betray and kill each other, but it is always the same people who will suffer. That is why we do what we do. If the Minoan Guard is with you, see 0023. It is. So this is my Minoan guide. Okay, they've been kind of intervening on occasion. So 0023, you turn to Akakallis, who up until now has remained silent, almost invisible. She's looking at Lorona with hate in her eyes. My family have only ever done what's best for this land. This wretch wants to undermine that, to poison your mind against us as the maze cult poisons this land. Ignore her lies and evict them from this blighted place. If I have at least 5 tally marks, so let's look at my tally. I do have at least 5 tally marks. And if I want to press the matter, oh geez, okay, this is really going to put this guy in danger, but this seems quite important. So I'm going to go to 0068. Why are you so defensive, you ask. Why do you have to ask, she retorts. We're besieged from all sides by people who want to tear us down. To be constantly compared to Minos or Theseus, do you think I chose this life, she snaps? I was so young when they what, you insist. There's a deep sadness in Akakallis' voice. If I could go back and do something, I would. Remember that at least. Her cryptic words would stay with you. Her cryptic words stay with you. Mark another tally mark and return to 0022. All right, so I add another tally mark. And I think when it gets to 10 or more, I read a certain paragraph. All right, 0022, 0024. Lorena looks you in the eye. We are many and our numbers are growing, but we do not have armies as they do. We must use what tools are available to us. Let us keep this place. This world is changing. We want to be ready for what's coming. Tell the Hornsworn to leave us in peace. They can have their people. If you side with us, they'll have no choice but to go. I should choose now. She's proven helpful, and that should be rewarded, but you know when this kindness may not come back to you. Truth is, it may never, but it feels right. You tell the Labyrinthians remain in the palace, Labyrinthians diplomacy +1, Hornsworn -1. Or you have no quarrel with this woman or her people, especially after they proved so useful, though you suspect they have ulterior motives. But her faith, that is a poison that, if left unchecked, will consume the souls of men and women across Hellas. You break up the Labyrinthian camp. Now, I do, as I said, the Labyrinthians they always seem so peaceful, but I don't trust them. So I'm going to go Labyrinthians -1, Hornsworn +1, and then see 0027. Okay, Lorona shakes her head sadly. She guides you through the tunnels in silence. Something catches your eye down a side passage. You discover a large chamber within which waits a fine prize indeed, a titan. It's a vast, six-armed thing, half buried in rocks and debris. Even immobile, you can still feel its latent power, as if a casual shrug would tear it free. Once it's extracted, you lead it back through the tunnels. It has to stoop, almost crawl, to avoid bringing the whole palace down around your ears. When you return to the throne room, Christos has secured prisoners, Hornsworn and Minoans alike. The Labyrinthians wear their former bindings. I hope you found what you're looking for, he says. We did good work here today. You set off ahead of the Hornsworn. Gain an Earth Shaker Titan. All right, and this is my second special Titan for the campaign. The Earth Shaker. Here it is. Oh. Okay. Earth Shaker Titan. So what's special about this guy? I can have 3 weapon slots or 3 special item slots. When you make an attack, if there are no opening or break tokens, place one. Okay, good. What's special about him? Nothing really special on the trauma side. He can add quite a few breaks, so he's a good opener. Okay. It might be well suited to Otis Zero, who is my, as I said earlier, my opener. So I might give Otis Zero the Earth Shaker and put Herodotus aside for some time, which means I have to unpack another miniature. All right, so where was I? But gain a doom and a progression, story progression, and then return to the voyage phase. Now again, I cannot advance the story, so I'm going to have to put this again on Inward Odyssey. But I also gain a doom. Now, how many doom? I've got 5 doom tokens now. And this advances when there are 6 or more, so it's almost advanced. Okay. What was that? That was the story token. Okay. So now back to the timeline. Last turn, and then we'll take a break. All right, so I'm going to advance to here. This was 0, 0, 0, 5, 6. Here we go. Okay, another another progress token. Ticker box. Exploration. Stack 1, Labyrinthian Vessel. Well, they have denounced me. So at the start of the next timeline battle, I escalate 1. And keep drawing. So that moves. So it should move every time I see it. Gain 2 monument resources. And a chosen Argonaut gains a fate. Let's give it to them. And stop there. Now over here, they move again. Gain 2 monument resources. Chosen Argonaut gains a fate. We'll put it over there. And that's all. Remove from the deck. Okay, so let's see. Deck, encounter step, no. Advancement step, no technologies. Story step. So where are we? Story step. Progress token. Progress token means I have another technology, Argus knowledge rather, which brings me to 11. And I've also got an R&R story. So let's do my Inward Odyssey. I think we do tokens first, which would advance my Inward Odyssey. 92. I didn't move it up to the 10, did I? So I've missed 2 steps. Okay, so we go from 9 to 10. I've already got Maze Walker. So now Memories of a Distant Shore. Okay, as your journey goes on, many reminisce about the old days on the shores of California. You, of course, know the story. but the old priest has told it in rather broad strokes. Maybe it's time to retell it once more. He's reluctant at first, but you press on and he eventually gives in. It all started with the Eschaton, he recounts, sitting uncomfortably in a large chair on the Acropolis deck. I was still old, just less so. I remember looking at the sky and seeing a pillar of light cut the heavens in two. It was a moment of flash, and so far away I felt the soaring heat on my cheeks. The light faded, swallowed by thick, greasy, voracious darkness. Olympus was gone, you see, but the rest of Hellas was soon to follow. I knew we had to find shelter. Not many listened to me, but I was a beggar working the streets of the island's capital, but a handful did. We made for the coast, where the sea supposedly spat out the corpse of a gargantuan beast, Scylla by any other name. But I knew it was no beast. It was a ship of metal and stone. You know the one. We made it inside right as the first wave hit Kefalonia. My son did not heed my call. There is great sadness in the old priest's voice. The passage of years has not dulled the pain or weathered the memory. The first few weeks were hell. The game was gone. The sea receded. The rivers turned grey from all the ash. Many think the Eschaton happened overnight. They're wrong. Those who died that night were relatively few and lucky. The rest of us had to scavenge to survive. Desperation pushed many to unspeakable acts. In retrospect, the fates smiled on us. The ship provided a defensible position, and the odium of a curse that surrounded it made many avoid the place completely. Still, as the disparate community grew, there were thefts and raids and all sorts of villainy. It was Polyphemus who kept the peace, ironically. Polyphemus, the Cyclops? No, the old priest smiles. Cyclops do not venture this far into the great sea. They rather like the highlights of Laconia. It was a titan, its head obscured by a helm, not unlike the ones we now use. It roamed the ship and its surroundings, making everyone keep to themselves. Without it standing guard, we'd have been at each other's throats. Weeks turned into months and months into years. Many sought shelter in the wreck, refugees and outcasts, adventurers and scholars, pirates and artificers, all sorts of people looking for a home and a new beginning. There were so many factions back then, so much politics, and you came out on top. The old priest chuckles. I think everyone just got tired of arguing. It was better to work together. We found useful gear in the depths of the ship. We had ample water and food. He sniffs, wiping tears. I thought I'd die there of old age. Looking at the old Kefalonian palace in the distance, its toppled spires piercing the low leaden clouds. Imagine my surprise. Quite the story, you say, when it's clear the tale has run its course. Oh, whatever happened to that titan you mentioned? Polyphemus, was it? You know what, says the old priest with a surprised look. I think it's still here, though they may call it something else now. You should check on it, if you'd like. It's part of the living history of the Argo. If you're on a further Doom card than story card, for example, do be... I think I am. So story card 2B, Doom card, it's the same. Gain a story. If I'm on a further Doom, so I'm not further. The Argonaut with the most Nemos nodes on a single card gains one node for that Nemos. Okay, so that is, I'm pretty sure, Penelope. She's got like 9 on one of hers. Yes, blood on your hands. Okay, so blood on your hands is triggered again. She advances this. Now, if she has 7 wounds and she's a priority target, she gains auto break 1. All right. And she's got something to read as well in just a moment. Assign the Dreamwalker 2 pattern card to any of your current Titans. Okay, now I've got to find a pattern card. Dreamwalker 2. Dreamwalker 2. These can also be hard to find. No, here we go. Dreamwalker 2. Right, so what this does is it enhances the abilities of my Titans. I might give that to... I can give it to this... no, Earthshake is pretty good at the moment. That's pretty good. I'm going to give it to Solon, because he's got a basic Dreamwalker. All right. And name it. I'll do that in a moment. But then I had to read 11 because I missed this earlier as well. Okay, so Garden of Solitude. You're surprised to learn that there are game hunters on the Argo. Not hunters that go on land to forage for food, mind you, but hunters who stalk their prey on the ship itself. How does that work, you ask the leader of these hunters, Archistea. You know the story of the Argo, of its Kephalonian days, right? She replies, preparing her gear for the next expedition. Over the years, the beach ship attracted more than refugees. All sorts of creatures got in. Others were brought in, either with the intention of livestock farming or simply as pets, she smiles. There are wild places on the ship which nature has reclaimed. We keep the animal populations in check so they don't become a problem for the crew. You decided to tag along for one of these hunts. That part of the ship is still relatively unknown to you, so it'll be a great opportunity to learn. As soon as you enter the wild hold, you stop in awe. There are trees here. No, a forest. Nature has indeed reclaimed this place, quite literally. Of course, there are plants in the Argo, whole decks turned into fruit gardens and fields, but nothing so untamed. Soon the hunting party splits up and you're left to go at your own devices. You wander from chamber to chamber, marvelling at the way nature has ingrained itself into the metal hull, wondering how light is getting so deep into the ship. Then you stop. On a rise where two trees join and form a thick canopy, right beneath the deck plating stands a beautiful woman. You make poor hunters Argonauts, she says, just like this one made for a poor saboteur. You follow her gaze down to her feet, where a man is sprawled on the ground, dead, his body encased in some kind of exoskeleton, already part of nature. The woman sprouts out of him. Now you notice the branches growing out of her hands and her lush leaf hair. You're a nymph. And you're trespassing, she answers indifferently. This is my garden. Keep away, lest you want to end up like this one. You do as she asks. Later, many others try to reach this garden of solitude, but none succeed. It's as if the place has simply vanished or was never there in the first place. I gain the Solitude Nymph summoning card. So these nymphs are sort of special, well, they're nymphs that can... Solitude Nymph, here it is. I can summon this nymph, so at least one Titan has died or drawn an obol. After I draw an AI card, spend one priest summoning power to summon the nymph, then, advance, I don't know what that is. Then immediately discard the drawn card without resolving it, treat it as resolved. So that could be good in a battle that I'm struggling with. Okay, that's it. That wasn't great, that wasn't huge, but okay. Now, where was I? Okay, so I've still got an R&R. No, I got the wrong thing. I'm here, yep. I've still got my river card to draw, right? So, story step. No advancement this turn. Story step is drawn. Deadly Shadows, lose one hull point. Wow. All right, lose a hull point. That's 2 hull points I've lost recently. Okay, and I'm done. Okay, then I've got an acclimatation. Right, so when this happens, we find cards 3, 7, 9, 13, 23. All right, 3, 7, 9, 13, 23. We, just make sure I've got them all, 3, 7, 9, 13, 23. We remove these from our deck and we add some new ones. We add 15, 16, 17, 18, 27. 15, 16, 17, 18, 27. So what are these going to be? More resources, basically. Yep, okay, so we add those to our exploration deck. And I might call it there. So that just kind of goes to show that a large part of the game, we've got a battle coming up on the next turn, which will take a long, long time to get through and resolve. But look, I've got what, three more clue cards. One of them has to be the ship I'm hunting. All right, folks. Yeah, as you see, a lot of adventuring, a lot of reading. Thank you all for watching, and take care. Bye for now.